Awesome. I appreciate you guys hopping on and kind of sharing your experience going through the program. Maybe let's start with just kind of an intro, name, a little bit about you, what you do, that type of thing.
Can I go first? Yeah. My name's Harrison. We live out in Kentucky. I am a process engineer in a manufacturing plant. I've been out here for a couple of years, moved out here after I finished school. We have a little boy, just a 1.5-year-old boy. And,
I'm Kiley. I work in marketing and I work full-time, and I'm also a full-time mom at home. And so I work from home, and we try to think of things we like to do. We like to travel, so we make time and we go visit places and
You guys are pretty big Disney goers too. You guys go to Disney.
We do like Disney.
Disney, Lake Powell, all the fun places. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What were your guys' kind of goals as you guys were coming into the program?
A big part of it for me was just education from someone who knows what they're talking about.
Sure.
We try to do so much research on our own, just by doing Google searches and reading random magazine articles or blog posts or people talking on Instagram. We just really needed some direction. Was a big part of it.
Yeah.
And just to know like what actually is important with fitness, weight loss.
Sure.
Like that, what you should and shouldn't focus on. There's so many like fad diets out there and things like, so which ones are actually good for you to begin with, which ones are sustainable, what actually is healthy for you, and
sure,
what will last the longest, kind of a thing. Make the biggest difference that way.
Yeah, and I think obviously like one of our goals was to lose weight, and just even more than that, just to like feel healthy and just feel that difference of just even normal day activities that can feel, not as stressed on your body, and especially like after having a baby, like there's just, your body goes through so much. So for me, it was, I wanted to feel healthy again and strong, and that I can carry my 30-pound kid around with, with no problem, and not feel like that strain on my body.
Yeah, I love that. Finding something that works for you, that's sustainable, learn what actually works versus the fad stuff that's not consistent, and then a little bit of weight loss, but feel strong, healthy, energy at the end of the day, trying to chase the kids around because they somehow have just unlimited energy. Even at 5 o'clock in the morning, being, hey, what are we doing today? I don't know. Let me figure that out. Okay, awesome. I like that. And then why did you guys kind of start, or why did you guys decide to work with me?
Well, like we've tried like so many things. Like we've tried like keto and Weight Watchers and like all these different things like on our own, and we would have success for the first couple weeks that we would do it, but then it just kind of we would stick to it for maybe like a month, and then we would just revert back to our old ways. And so I think just finally admitting that we needed some more help than just us.
Sure. Some accountability there.
Yeah, I think accountability and just the commitment and, putting some skin in the game, I think was big for us.
Yeah.
Because, you're investing in yourself, and so, you're going to do it,
Yeah.
So I think that was a huge motivator for us is, just to keep us on track and make it a priority, that it wasn't optional, like that, we're doing this and, we got to stick to it.
Yeah, for sure. Having that accountability, the skin in the game. I get that.
I think that's the biggest part of it for me as well. And we know that someone who does this for a living like you would know most up-to-date research that's been done in different areas about nutrition and different types of exercise, what we should be focusing on for our personal lives and everything like that. I think the number one thing was just the accountability piece as well.
Yeah.
Having someone here to do a weekly phone call with and talk about how we did. We have the scale measurements and the waist measurements and things like that, so we have hard numbers that we have to talk to you about, so we have to make sure we're sticking to it, making sure we have good data to report.
Yeah.
And I think having that accountability with someone who understands how we can accomplish our goals is the number one biggest thing why we decided to work with you.
Awesome. I love that. And where were you guys kind of at before? So Kiley, you said that you guys had tried a bunch of different things. Where were you guys at kind of before, health-wise, relationship with food, body, all that stuff?
I definitely liked food a lot.
Still do.
A good
Sure.
relationship with food. I think we were definitely didn't, I don't know how to describe it, we didn't have a ton of direction before. Our relationship with our bodies was we always knew we had to do something better, but we just never could kick ourselves in the pants enough to actually do it.
Sure.
We weren't extremely active either, but we always knew we needed to be. We just never had a ton of motivation, I guess, to get going.
And we never made the time for it either.
Yeah.
So it never was, we knew it, but we never made it the priority.
Sure.
And I think too, we were just comfortable, and so we would, we ate out a lot, and so it wasn't a healthy relationship with food. And it's not to say that you can't eat out, but I think it's just we had really no control, and we just didn't really care.
Sure.
It wasn't a priority or really a worry. We just were comfortable and living our life, and even though in the back of our heads we knew that we needed to make a change.
Sure. And I think that's probably pretty common with a lot of people. They want to make a change. They know they need to make a change. Most people know kind of, roughly, okay, we probably should be moving more. We probably shouldn't be eating out as much, right? But a lot of times that's kind of where that expertise, it's like, okay, that's if we are able to dial that in for a certain period of time, do we see the results? Do we not? We need some more accountability. So I feel like where you guys were prior to the program, I think is where a lot of people, start for sure and for sure, sit currently. So what started to shift as we were meeting weekly, as you guys were watching, the videos and getting active? What started shifting with that, all of that, I guess?
I feel like for me it was exciting to be starting actually a program, not just something on our own. So I was excited.
Yeah.
I feel like you did a really good job motivating us at the beginning too, and so I think that was super helpful. And I think just finding, because for us it wasn't we really liked food, and so it was we didn't want to give up all the things that we like to eat, and so it was really fun to figure out ways to eat the same types of food that we liked, but with different substitutions in there. Switching out the ingredients, because you could still make really, really good food. Switching out a few ingredients that can drastically lower the calories and increase the protein and make it way more doable and sustainable and fun. At the beginning, we were just sending back and forth so many reels on Instagram that we would find that we're the algorithm picked up that we
picked up. You guys were on a health journey and started showing you all the good stuff. Yeah.
So it was fun, just jumping in and starting and seeing what we could do. And I think once we started seeing the progress, you know, that obviously
Yeah.
really helped us to start being like, oh, okay, we can do this. Like,
Yeah.
it is doable, and
This is doable. This is this is maintainable. Like, because some of the things that you've done in the past weren't sustainable long term, but it's like, yeah, okay, we can eat this way. We still are enjoying our food. We can still enjoy our food and reach our goals, but you just do it within certain, you know, parameters of calories and proteins, and you can crush it.
I think too. Sorry, I'm talking a lot, but like we were feeling really good because like some of the other things that we would try, like our bodies were just like, I felt like it was fighting against us. Like
Sure.
it was like, we're not supposed to be eating that much of this, you know. But
Yeah.
so just kind of having that balance in the diet, I think, really helped us to feel good. And then exercising on top of that, like we were filling up to exercising because we felt good from what we were eating.
Sure. You had enough energy to do the activity side instead of, I feel like a lot of times when people diet, or especially some of these fad things, they're so exhausted and hungry that the last thing that they want to go and do is expend a bunch of calories or go lift weights or anything like that. And so then, yeah, they're eating less, but now they're actually moving less than they used to, and they're miserable, and so it's like a lose-lose.
I think one thing for me that I realized not long after starting is it's really not extremely complicated. Like you watch a lot of videos, lots of the fad diets especially, they try to throw all these big words at you.
Yeah.
This is why this works.
Yep.
Then, like you have your Power 5 goals, and if you stick to those every day, you'll see progress. It's just those 5 simple things.
Yeah.
And I always felt so intimidated by the exercise piece because I thought that would be something that's so important, but there's so many other things that you need to focus on too that aren't as daunting as that.
Mm-hmm.
And even thinking about how to hit that part of the goal, all we need to do is we can just take our son on a walk in the evening for half an hour. You know, it's not, we don't have to go out to the gym and have some really high intensity workout every single day. And there's just small things like that that bring the progress. And it's realizing too that it's not something that's supposed to happen right away. This is a long term. We're investing in our entire life, not the next 6 months.
Sure.
We're not going to get down to our goal of losing 150 pounds in the next year. It's just establishing a good foundation and the routine and everything that you need to make it a long term change in your life.
Yeah.
And it definitely made me think more about just you talk a lot about doing things with intention in your videos and things like that in our conversations. Just made me think about, if I eat this now, what can I not eat later? Or if I don't get out of bed, when am I going to find time to exercise later? I better do it now, kind of a thing. And then thinking about planning out meals and being more conscious of just our whole routine made a big difference too. And then the first time you step on a scale and you have a loss, you're like, holy cow, this is working. And then that was pretty much it. And it was fun at the beginning, and it was always so exciting when we would have our weekly call with you, and we would always have really good news to share.
Yeah.
Because it's not complicated. If you stick to it, you will see the progress every single week.
Yeah.
And you don't always, maybe your scale value doesn't always change, but your waist measurement might change, or you'll notice some definition in your arms that wasn't there before, and things like that. You'll always see these.
Like the clothing starts fitting better.
Yeah.
You're wearing shirts that you have put in your closet for forever ago, and get to break those out.
And not long ago, we went through our closet and donated all the clothes that were too big for us now.
So awesome.
Were the clothes we had to wear before, and now they're all too big because we have all of these clothes that we put in the back of the closet because they were too small before that fit us now.
Yeah.
And now we've got all these clothes that are too big, so we just got them out of the house because we don't have to think about them anymore.
Yeah.
So it just, once we realize how it's really not complicated, and you can get that good routine going, and the progress starts to show right away in a number of ways.
Yeah.
That it's not strictly a waist measurement or a scale measurement. There's so many different progress, or I guess milestones along the way
Yeah.
that you track to is putting it in that perspective, shifting your mindset to think in that perspective made a big difference.
Yeah. And I love that because so often people, they get this focus of, okay, quick fix over the next, short period of time, let's go crazy with it. And then whether they get there or they don't, as soon as it's over, it's like everything goes out the window and it was unsustainable. And whereas you guys had that mentality of like, no, we're doing this for, we're essentially changing our mindset, our lifestyle, our habits, like all these things. And you guys genuinely implemented those things, and you reaped the rewards of it. And that showed in your mentality with what you just said with getting all those clothes that were too big for you out of the house. Because there's so many times I talk to people and they're like, oh, well, I'm holding on to these clothes just in case this doesn't work. Or just in case, keto doesn't work, or just in case I, gain all the weight. And it's like you guys had that realization and that game plan that like, no, this is just our lifestyle now. We changed our lifestyle, we changed our mindset, and this is us, which is so awesome. And like that changes your lives, that changes Cal's life, and that it just carries on down the line, which is so cool. So proud of you guys. You guys are awesome. So let's talk about some of those results, tangibly, intangibly. What were some of the results you guys got?
Well, I lost 56 pounds on the program, which just doesn't even seem
That's
like
so
real.
awesome. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think I don't even know how to describe it. And people have obviously it's noticeable, and people are like, wow, does it just feel so amazing? And I'm like, it feels so amazing to accomplish that, but along the way, it's funny, we talk about this, it's not like an overnight thing, so it's not like, oh, I woke up and I can feel the 56
Sure.
pounds gone, but
Yeah.
it's just this gradual thing, and something that super proud that we could stick to it and get to that point, because I never thought that I could lose that much weight, and I still have a long journey ahead of me, but it just gives me that motivation to keep on going. And
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't seem real, honestly.
That's incredible. That's so awesome. 56 pounds is no small feat. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I think I'm down. I'm trying to think of pant size wise. I think I've gone down 3 pant sizes as well, and so that's been a big thing too. Is we've had to buy all new clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a good reason to have a shopping spree.
For sure. I love that.
What about for you?
I lost 45 pounds on the program, about 5 inches in my waist. I went from a 42 size pant to, depending on the brand, I wear 36 or 38 now.
That's so awesome.
One of the big non-scale victories I had too is for Christmas last year, Kiley bought me a sport coat to wear to church and other events and everything. It was too small for me when I bought it. And I don't know, 2 or 3.
But we held on to it because we were
had that nostalgic value, and yeah.
We're gonna lose the weight. This was back in December before we started.
Yeah.
And then 2 months or so in, was able to start wearing the jacket to church, and now the jacket's too big for me. I wore it for a month to church maybe, and now I can't wear it anymore.
That's awesome.
But I think another intangible thing, we were just talking about it too, we didn't feel it happen overnight, it was a gradual process. But then when I think about, it's you'll just do something that you'll be like, oh, I have to go upstairs to get something for our son that he left up there earlier. And it's now it's oh, I can go get it, no problem. You go up, it's not even hard to go up any kind of stairs.
Sure.
Or if you're holding him and you have to bend down and squat down and pick something up, you can just stand right up, it doesn't hurt your knees. And
Yes.
you're not breathing hard whenever you, at work, in the manufacturing plant I work in, there's some days I have to walk up quite a few stairs, flights of stairs at a time. And I used to feel like I was just going to collapse at the top of the stairs. There was so many stairs and I'd be so tired, but now I can just go anywhere. My legs hardly even burn at all when I get to the top of this. It's a fairly tall building. Well, 3 or 4 stories, not like a huge building, but still a lot of stairs to go all at once. And like my legs aren't even burning at the top. And then I get up there and I'm like, wow, I actually have, like, when you do stuff like that, it's like, wow, I actually have made progress. There actually has been a difference. Even outside of the hard numbers of the scale and the waist measurements and things like that.
Yeah.
And, people noticing it as well, it makes a big thing. And people, there's this one guy at work, he stopped me in the hallway. I know who he is, but we don't work real close together all the time.
Sure.
I don't have a lot of conversations. He just stops me in the hallway and goes, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, you got to keep doing it. And just carried on down the hallway. And I was like, wow, that felt good.
That's awesome.
I spent the rest of the time at the work, just stopped me in the hallway. And then a couple of days later, my phone rings at my desk and it's him. And he goes, what have you been doing? Why is it working? So I started talking to him about it more too. And he just like cold called me one day after passing me in the hallway and asked me what I've been doing. So
that's awesome.
Things like that is the best feeling ever.
I know. I was out walking Cal one day, and like we don't know like the people in our neighborhood. It's people just kind of stick to themselves a lot. But
sure.
There's one lady that I do see, you know, and we like wave, you know, but like I've never talked to her before. But she like comes walking over to me and she's like, you have lost a lot of weight, haven't you? I was like, yeah, I have actually. And she's like, it's so noticeable. Like, you look so great, and like saying all these really nice things. And then she was like, I mean, you were beautiful before too. I'm not saying that. But, you know, like I was like, oh, I didn't think that. But it like just this like random stranger that like I don't even know. Like she stopped me. And then our neighbor the other day too was like asking me like, oh my gosh, you guys have lost a lot of weight. Like your husband, holy cow. And like I'm like, I know. But I think it's been really cool for Harrison because like he's always been a really strong guy, and you know. But I think like probably the coolest part for you is like starting to see your definition in your muscles and things like that has been really cool.
That's
but
awesome.
I feel strong again, stuff like that too. Way less and a lot more defined than I was even when I played football in high school and all that. And,
that's awesome.
Finally look as strong as I feel, I guess.
Yes, when those two things, when you're as strong physically as you are in your mind, it's like, okay, that's just even more of a like dopamine or like just a feel good feeling when those things align. I love that. And
I think too, like one other thing, sorry, is
you're good.
Like I feel like we like crave more to like be active because like if it's been a couple days, we're like, oh, we need to at least go for a walk or something. Like,
sure.
We just feel like our body needs it, and so that's been really cool. Like just like noticing those things where like before, like you know, we would sit on the couch and watch TV every night, you know, and we were exhausted from the workday, but now it's like we're still tired, but like we still just like have that like craving of like we're gonna get the workout in the morning. Like, hey, let's go for a walk, you know, and get outside and. So that's been I think a big win for me is kind of pushing that laziness.
Sure. I think it's not just with the activity piece. It's our house is so much cleaner more often than it was before too because we put Cal to bed and everything, and normally we just pop him on the couch and watch TV. Wake up the next morning to the same mess that our son made in the playroom and that we made in the kitchen.
Sure.
Now it's like. Got went to bed. Okay, we're still feeling pretty good. Let's get the house put in order before we let ourselves on the thing for the night. And then we feel so much better that way too, because we go to bed with a clean house, wake up to a clean house, and it's just even things like that where the laziness isn't just gone for the exercise piece, but just everything. We're like, oh, I forgot we need this for dinner tomorrow. Oh, no problem. I'll run to the store and get it. Like,
yeah.
Think about it. Or before, but we'll just eat something else tomorrow.
Sure.
You know? But it's just stuff like that too. Just even things outside of that.
Everyday life.
Every part of our lives is better.
That positive feedback loop. As you feel good, you do more good things that make you feel good. That you do more good things, and it's just that positive spiral, which, it's so easy to go the other way when you don't do the thing, and then you're negative, then you beat yourself up, and it's this negative spiral. But having that positive spiral and, defeating the laziness, like you said, that's freaking awesome. You guys are so awesome. What would you maybe say to somebody that's like, yeah, I have been listening to Connor for a while, or I watch his stuff or whatever, and maybe even had a conversation with me, and like is on the fence of taking that next step and like actually committing to the program versus not, kind of on the fence? What would you say to somebody like that?
I think the short answer is just kind of shut up and do it. Like it is hard to make a commitment like that at first, but listen to the stories of people like us, and we know there's a lot of people you've told us about, and we've seen on your social media and everything that you've worked with. It's like the time you put into like taking the meetings with you and making sure you're filling out your goals every night and your worksheet every week, every Sunday night, and all that. That amount of work is nothing compared to the feeling you have when you're done. Like we would have done 10 times more work of the busy work kind of stuff in your program too, to get this feeling that we have now. Any amount of this extra work that the program adds is worth it in the end. And if it's about the cost of it, then think you're not just spending this money for 4 to 6 months or a year or whatever you choose. You're spending that money on the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's not just money well spent for 6 months. It's you're investing in a higher quality life later, in a longer life, healthier life with friends and family, or whatever you want to do for the rest of your life. You're not just taking care of it for 6 months. It's a lifelong investment that you need to do, that you're taking care of. And I would just say any amount of all that is going to be worth it in the end, for the education you get and for the good feelings you have, the getting to report on the good news every week that if you've been good. There's nothing that's worth not having that feeling.
Dang.
And I think too, like it's worth it. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but it's just like, if you've been trying other things and you haven't seen the success that you're wanting, in our experience, the missing piece was having the accountability. And like, that seriously is what has made the huge difference for us, of like kicking us into gear, and then you showing us, how to get to where you need to go. It's like Harrison was saying, like, you're paying, like, I can't remember this quote, but it's like, your health is like the most important thing that you should ever spend your money on. And a lot of times, like, in our age, we get caught up in spending money on stuff that doesn't matter.
Sure.
In 10 years, when it's like, when you're old, it's like when you're old, the biggest flex is your health.
Yeah.
And when you're young, like, your biggest flex is like your things. And so it's like, when you're young, like, put your money to make yourself healthy, and so that you can have that flex when you're old.
Yeah.
So I think just, time's gonna pass either way, and so you might as well invest it in yourself and get to where you want to get to, because that's the success that we've seen, and it's been well worth it.
I think you need to ask yourself why too. Why am I even watching his videos? Why did I have that conversation with him?
Sure.
It's because in the back of your mind, you know that there's something you need to do, whether it's you need to just lose weight, or whether it's because well, for me personally, my biggest why was wanting to have a long life with my kids and my wife, and being able to teach my kids to have good habits, healthy habits early on. So think about why you even thought about having a conversation with Connor, why you're watching these videos, and just think, if you actually commit to any length of program with him, you'll get there. That why will become reality. And it's worth the 6 to 12 months, whatever you decide to do. That why will come to fruition if you do it.
You guys are so awesome. Thank you for those kind words. It means, I don't think you guys know how much that means. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys putting in the work and applying, the methods and being consistent with it and hopping on the calls and sharing your awesome news of, going up the stairs without being winded or picking up your kid without pain or, the scales and the non-scale victories and everything like that. So I really appreciate you guys. It's been a genuine pleasure working with you. I definitely miss it. And as always, if you guys have, any questions or anything like that, always feel free to reach out and not be a stranger. But I appreciate you hopping on and kind of sharing your experience, and hopefully it helps, some people kind of take that next step in taking control of their health in a sustainable, good, maintainable way. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Thank
Of
you.
course. Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you just seems like so lame. It's been so fun to, work with you and, growing up, we always, we were friends and stuff, but now it's been fun to build that relationship
Yeah.
again and getting this time with you, and so hopefully someday, we'll be able to see you again in person.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously, oh my gosh. Well, yeah, seriously, thank you again. I hope you guys have a great night.